to be making this Fall Guys door. If you have not seen it, it's a fun game. People are running into each other. It's quite nice. And I made one little mistake here, and I'll show you what I did to fix that. And let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with, I think the hardest part of this particular project is this door right here. So let's just go ahead and get started with this door. I'm going to move it over to the side so we can have a little bit more of a workspace here. I'm going to click at the bottom, and this is 141 by 30. Okay, so I'm going to start here. 141 by 30. All right, and let's go ahead and find the height, 525, or yeah, 525. Now, in the video game, these are rounded corners. So if you look closely, whoa, down here, if you look closely, it's rounded. It's not necessarily as, I don't know, smooth. It's way smoother here than it is here because this looks like it'll cut you if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and smooth this using the radius tool. Now this is just going to be, let's say 3 looks fine-ish. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I don't know why I started with that. I should have started with this. Let's go ahead and move this over because we don't really need that too much later. Let's go ahead and start with that side of the door. Now mind you, I want you to pay attention that I'm actually clicking on the pink one because the white and the pink are 2 separate pieces, and I'll show you how to get that. So this is going to be 70 by 9. So let's just click on that, 70 and 9. And that looks about right. Let's see how tall this pink part is, and it is 100. There you go. Now to get this effect right here, we're going to have to do something a bit odd, and that's create one of these things over here. All right, so let's just drag one of these right next to it. And the thickness really doesn't matter as long as we can cover both sides, not an issue. The height, I remember correctly because I had to mess with this a lot, is 160. 160. Now, let me look at the other measurements we have here. And 20. I think that's standard 20 over there. But the front part is not going to be 20. So let me click on that. It's 10. All right. Actually, very important that you make sure it's 10. Because that is going to be the thickness that you see here. All right. Let's go back over here. Now, here's the part that requires some skill. You're going to have to make this 45. That's 22.5, and that is 45. Now, make sure you drag this down as far as you can, and you have to make sure that at the very top right here, let's see if I can get these together here, that it's actually covering all of it. There is not some little jagged edge that's sticking out. We want it to be covered completely. Okay, I'm going to move this down just a little bit more. Let's see if that works. Oops, I forgot I selected both of them. I'm going to hit Z and the arrow right there instead. One more down. And how did it go? That looks fine. Okay, now that it's at, I know that this is the highest or the lowest I can have it. I'm going to move it over with the arrow key that way. And what I want is for this part right here, this corner, to be a triangle about that height. All right, so I'm covering all this. We're all good here. Okay, great. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to move it over 5 at a time. So I'm going to move the arrow key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that looks good to me. So I'm going to duplicate it again, but check out what happens, or at least what should happen is nothing. So I'm going to just click on duplicate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duplicate again, and look, the program has figured out, hey, you're going to keep on doing this, so I'll just do it for you. I'm going to duplicate again and duplicate again. There you go. I really like how that worked. Okay, so this is it. This is the tough part right here. But I'm going to group them. And change this to pink right now because it just looks better when it looks more like what you're trying to get. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to duplicate this. And there's two of them now. There's two of them. Actually, I'm not going to duplicate this. I'm going to make a wall. Now I'm going to copy the dimensions that are for this one, which is 70 and 9. 70 and 9. And the height was 100. I'm going to change this to white. And look what happens as soon as we do this. Actually, I'm just going to align these two because it's just so much easier that way. Undo. I'm going to align these two using that one right there. And look, they're aligned in that direction. Now I'm going to align them here. They are one, and as you can see, the color looks a little bit weird when you're moving around, and that's because they're the exact same. Exact same. So there's like, I'm not sure if I should be pink or white, so it just does both of them at the same time. So now I clicked on the pink one, I hope, and I'm going to make that 10. Nope, looks like I clicked on the white one. All right, let me try this again. That's the tricky part when they're both together. I should have done it beforehand, but all right, it's not there, so I'm going to move this forward. It's going by 5. So the pink one, now I'm going to change that to 10. There. Now I'm going to move that one back with the arrow key. It's going to go back 5 exactly. And I forgot I changed the white one to 10 too. Did I do that? I'm going to change the white one to 9 now. So here's what I wanted. This is the look I wanted. And if you look carefully, the pink stands out just a little bit. And when you print this, it's going to print one color. However, having them separated like this makes it easier to paint if you're going to paint this. So there we go. All the other dimensions are the exact same. It's flat on the back, flat on top, flat on the side, flat on the other side too. But the only thing that stands out is the pink lines. Okay, so we got that part down. I'm going to duplicate both of them. Duplicate both of them. And move it over a little bit, just so you can see. And then I'm going to mirror it. I'm going to have it turn that way. Alrighty then. There's that. I'm going to hit Shift and then drag this over. As you can see, there's a little bit of space there. So I'm going to change this over here to 0.1. That way I can move it little by little. And that's about right. Okay, it looks like we're good. There's a tiny little space in between both of them. Now, if you were to print this, you would not print this all together the way it is right now, set up in the final way. No, you wouldn't do that because it would most likely print together, and you want this to fall apart. At least I'm guessing, unless you want it to actually be just a piece of art, if you will. All right, so I'm going to change that to pink because it looks better. Now I'm going to try to center these things together. I'm going to align them here. Oh, I made a mistake. Let me undo this. I see that it's off a little bit here, so I'm just going to use the arrow key. And I could align this way. Oh, let me do it this way. By the way, I was about to do this. And if you didn't notice, when I selected all this, it also selected the bottom part of the gate over here. So if I come over here, it will only select these things right here. At least I hope. But it doesn't look like I did that because it's going all the way over here. So let me do this. I'll just select these. All right, good. Now I'm going to get real close. And I'm going to align this here. And there you go. Aligned. As you can see, it's coming together. Great. Now, the half circle is actually this one right here. It's called the round roof. That's nice. Let's check out the dimensions. Looks like it's 1807 and 5. I'm just going to keep it at 18 and 5. And of course, we got to change this to white. Now, I had a hard time doing this. Actually, I didn't check the height. Is the height an issue? It's going to be 10 and 10. Okay. I had a hard time doing this because I had to space these out. In the video game, there are 7 of these things, 7 teeth. I call them teeth because they look like a mouth to me. And right here it's sticking out, and I forgot that this actually, the bottom part, is slightly bigger. Let me see what the number is, 141, and right here 141. Or, I'm just gonna move this over a little bit. Now we're gonna do that same trick we did before with, whoa, they're touching each other. There you go. And this one I can move up. This one also. All right, so I had a problem with spacing. I needed to get 7, which was 3, and 3, and 1 in the middle. So I'm going to do that thing I did before with duplicating. I'm going to move this over. Wow, going 0.1 over to the left is so long. I can feel myself getting older just watching this. All right, that looks like it's about right. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this one, and look what happens. I love that part. Although I can tell already that it did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see, look at this. The spacing is not good. So I'm going to change that to 1 so that it's easier to move around. Now, I'm just trying to get it so that it looks evenly spaced. And I should technically start right there in the middle and then have everything else adjust to that. Let me see what I have here. It's not bad. This one needs to be over a little bit, lower. All right, that's not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Move this over a little bit, over a little bit. Okay. Better, but still uneven. I'm going to be okay with it just for the sake of the tutorial. Don't want to waste your time. Okay. Got the bottom part. Now, this is the next part right there. So what I'm going to do is get, again, another one of these round roofs. Here are the dimensions. You ready? So let's make this 30. Clicked on the wrong one. I guess I should get closer. 30. And then I'm going to get the front dimensions, 160. Now, 160 is not going to be the final number, but we're going to be working with it so that we can trim it later. That way there's a rounded edge that you're going to be able to see once we're done with this. Okay, I'm going to move it closer to the center so you can see what we're talking about. And I need to get the height of the previous one. And the height is 24. Okay, so 24. There it is. Okay, now let's look at the dimensions for this one. Same exact thing, 160, 130. Let's see, same thing. Yes. So we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to make it transparent. I'm going to move it forward so we can see the difference. All right, now the goal of having these two together, I'm going to zoom in here to these two, is to have an arc right there, an arch right there. Now I'm going to move it back over here. Actually, let me make this a little bit bigger, wider. Okay, now I'm going to move it back over here so you can see what it's going to look like. Okay, that is not bad. Actually, that's good. I'm just gonna make sure it goes all the way through. Okay, good. So I'm gonna group these two, select both of them, group. Okay, now you're thinking, but it's too big. I know it's too big. Don't worry about it. Now let's look over here. So now we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna duplicate this one. Why is that selected? Why is that over there? All right, I'm gonna undo this. I hit Control Z, and now I'm gonna select these two again. And let me just make sure that they're separated from the rest. And there it is. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this. And what am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to move it over so I can see it, first of all. And I'm going to change it to red. Was it this color? I don't remember what color today. Oh no, it's the one right above that one. All right. And essentially what I'm going to do is, well, I think the dimensions are going to change a little bit. 10, definitely 10. Oops. 10. And the height is going to change. Oh, you know what? I think I saw a mistake there. what I'm going to do is, actually, it's just faster if I do this. I'm going to undo these. I'm going to copy this, the transparent one. I'm going to copy it, duplicate, move that one forward, make it a solid, change it to that color. There. That's a lot easier. Change that to 10. Exactly what I want. Okay, so let me, again, why is it selecting those two? Okay, let's try that. Right there, those two are selected. And then this one is going to go under there. I'm going to move my, use my arrow key there. Now this one I do want centered, so I'm going to group them or align them on that center. I think we're good there. All right. Now these two, I want to be pink, I believe, in the final version. Yeah. All right, let's move that up, and over here. And if you, when I get here, you'll see that it actually doesn't align very well. And why is that? Well, the reason is because it's not supposed to. So I'm just going to drag one of these over here, get it pretty close to the wall. And I'm going to get a close up there just to make sure it's there. I'm using the arrow key and it's going by 1. So it's really a big jump. All right, that's as close as I want. I'm going to move this over. Now, if you see that it's touching this, it's not a big deal. You're not going to group it with that. Let's just make this 50. Okay, and then I'm going to hit shift and move this over. That way it's faster. All right, so now I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to extend this to, looks like 120. Let's just say 125. I'm going to duplicate this. Now I'm going to hit the shift key and move this to the other side. Now I can't tell if it's perfect over there, so let's get over here. Let's take a look. I'm going to use the arrow key to move it slightly. Okay. Now this is where it gets, some skill is involved with this part right here. Let me center this. Okay, so now I'm going to group this one. I clicked on it. Now I'm going to hit shift, click on this part, the top part, and this one, and now I'm going to group them. There it is. Now you have that part. Now here's a trick that you should know. I want to select all these teeth. Now I could do this, shift, 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 I'm sorry, shift, click, 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 and click. As you can see, it's a lot of work. Another shortcut would just be to go to the side, like I'm doing now, angle it so you can only see them, and then you selected both of them. Now for some reason it's selecting something over here. I don't know why. So I'm gonna go on the other side and see if it works over here. And you're probably thinking that shifting and clicking work just fine. Okay, so I selected all of them. I thought I did. Try this again. Yeah, only those are selected. I'm going to duplicate them right there, and I'm going to move them straight up and rotate. Shift. That way it rotates like that. And these need to go down a little bit. And this one is not aligned, so let me just move it over. That's fine there. Need to move it up. Right there. Now the teeth. In this case, I'm just going to hit shift and click. All right, so moving them up. Now I got to change these individually. It's not too bad because they're just turning it a little bit. Maybe move the arrow a little bit right there. Turning here with that. Oops, I was going the wrong way with this. Let me click here and then there. Then this one needs to be moved up. Okay. Now this one's going to go up again right there, and then this one up there. This one here. And this one needs to be rotated and brought down a little bit. Now, as you can see, they're not perfect. I'm going to move these over with a little arrow movement, move that up a little bit, move that one down a little bit. Okay, making sure nothing's sticking out. We don't want to go to the orthodontist and get braces for this thing. Looks like we are good. Move that over to the center a little bit. All right, we'll call that good enough for right now. Okay, so we got that part. Now we need these sushi rolls, looks like. All right, so I'm gonna start with the cylinder on the outside. That's gonna be 25 and 40. So let me bring this over. I'm gonna rotate it, this one right there. I might get closer. Rotate it, I'm gonna hit shift and then turn here. And now I forgot the numbers. I believe it was 40 and 25. 20, let me get a close up here. That is close up. 23, 65, and 40. Really? Again, close up. 23, 65, and 40, which means up here it's also going to be 40. All right, now I don't like these rounded edges, so I'm just going to smooth them. And let's just make it pink, just because it looks better. All right, looks like we're getting there. Now I'm going to just move this up so I can see where it's going to be. I can see all of these here together. All right. What was I going to do? All right, let's just move that over there. And a little bit higher. All right, so now it's just a series of circles, one in front of the other. Let me go over here. All right. Let's just make sure. Oh, now I remember. I selected these two because I want them both in the picture. All right, so now the white one. I'm clicking on the white one. So I'm going to duplicate this right here. And again, I'm going to make sure my dimensions are right. 38 and 2365. So just 38 needs to change. 38, change up here. That's also going to be 38. And now, as you can see, there's a difference. But let me make that one white so you can see it a little bit better. Now, looks like I chose the wrong one. I'm going to hit Control or just the arrow key back. All right. There. Anyways, I see that it's not. I'm going to just move this back. I'm going to change this to 1. I'm going to move this one back. And then change that one to white. Change the outside to pink. And we're good. Now, I am going to move both of them forward by 1. I'm going to make sure with the arrow key it's just 1. Okay, good. Now, as you can see, it's not centered. Looks like a weird moon. So I'm going to line this. There it is. There it is. And I believe I still got it wrong. Let me make sure I'm here. Yeah, I knew that was off. So let me try it again. That's where I want it. Now it's aligned. However, I still have that one right there. Let me click over here. Let's see if the white one will be selected easily. Okay, good. We're good. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing. We need another one over here. And that, why isn't it choosing it? This one right here. And that's 2365. That's not going to change, but it's going to be 28. So I'm going to duplicate this one. And this time, I'm going to move it forward first. And I moved it twice in case you were wondering. 28 there. And height is going to be 28 as well. Let's change this to the dark reddish color. I've selected the 3. I'm going to align them. Hopefully. There. There. And I believe we're good. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to move that one up a little bit. I should probably get a close up here. All right. That's sticking out. I don't want this one sticking out that much. It just looks bad. That's better. All right. And then a little bit higher. Oh, didn't select all of them. Sorry. Thought they were all selected. Move them all together. A little bit higher. Yeah, that's fine. Looks fine there. All right. So I'm going to copy and then duplicate, move that over. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking how far is this one away from that center line and then trying to duplicate over there. This might be right. Let me check here. Click front center. Gives me a front center view. And I think we are good. There is your Fall Guys gate right there. It's a thing of beauty. Try not to run into it and bounce off. Make sure you go all the way through. And we're good. Have a good one.